welcome back to Silver Age Silver Screen, the podcast where we watch, review, and discuss sci-fi, cult, superhero, and other stereotypically geeky films. I'm your co-host, Casey Jarms.
And I'm your other co-host, Riley Thorpe.
And oh my fucking god, Riley, look at that sky. It's a shooting star. It crashed down 1,000 miles away or right in front of us. And what's in that shooting star? Oh fuck, it's Ralen again.
It's me. That's my intro for this episode. Deal with it.
Yeah, he's back. He was in our last Airbender and kind of in our Snyder cut.
Yeah,
he was in the room.
I was in the room. I was in the background.
He commented a few times because he was so far from the mic, I had to cut like half of it out because it was just unintelligibly quiet. And the irony of you commented on Joss Whedon cutting all the black people out, but we're so far away from the mic that no one could hear you.
So I had to be cut out?
Well, actually, no, we were discussing that, and you interrupted us to say, hey, the new God of War trailer's out. Yeah. But anyway, today we're doing Killer Klowns from Outer Space. We're still doing the same setup we tried with Zack Snyder's Justice League. Maybe it'll work.
The reason why we decided to do this movie and have Ralen on as a guest star again is because he's a friend, and we want to include him in the show, obviously. Ralen and I, in particular, have a very fun history with this movie, dating all the way back to a year ago. Last Halloween 2020, he and I and our other roommate at the time got very, very drunk. Him more than us, not to put him on blast or anything.
No, it's okay.
We were talking about like what scary movies do we want to watch, because it's Halloween. We're just hanging out, drinking, making music, and we were just watching some scary movies. And at one point, our roommate at the time and we brought up the fact that we could watch Killer Klowns from Outer Space. I'd seen that movie before, and so had our other roommate, but Ralen had not. And Ralen, what would you rate your experience on that movie?
All I'm going to say is what I tell everyone how I feel about that movie. And how I feel about that movie is I was very drunk by the time we started the movie. And even drunk, that movie was still not fun to watch. That's how I describe that movie.
Yeah, so we had a very fun time last year, and when it got time to Halloween season, Casey asked me what horror movies I want to talk about. I said Killer Klowns from Outer Space with Ralen. Let's go.
Yeah.
You know, I actually watched this once as a kid. I must have been like 10 years old. It scared the shit out of me. Like, the clowns in this movie are genuinely creepy. This is, at times, a solid horror movie. But also, it is very much a horror movie of that era. And by that, I mean it's fucking terribly written. Oh my god. Oh, and the acting. This film is a masterpiece in so many ways.
There's a reason why they're making a sequel that's going straight to the Sci-Fi Channel. Like, let's just get that out of the way.
It's so bad, they're actually just sending it straight to DVD.
Yeah.
Those barely exist anymore.
You know, there are these famous sibling teams in the film industry. There's the Wachowski sisters. There's
the Coen brothers.
Yeah, the Coen brothers.
The Russo brothers.
Yeah. This was made by the Chiodo brothers. You know them. They directed this. And admittedly, they did most of the puppetry for Team America World Police. But yeah, for some reason, haven't heard of these guys much since then.
I wonder why. I wonder if they're going to be a part of the sequel. They better be. They gotta be.
Yeah, they have to be.
I know it's been like 30 years.
This is their child.
Yeah.
Yes, they're
and what an ugly-ass child.
Yeah.
Oh my.
There's nothing worse than an ugly baby.
It's the type of child that when you meet it for the first time, instead of complimenting the child, you compliment the clothes and be like, oh, he's got such cute shoes on. That's the only thing you say.
It's the type of child that if you see in a dumpster, you say, ew, put it back.
Yeah.
It's the type of child where you compliment the personality. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the type of child where you compliment the personality even as they're being awful and crying because this isn't on their face.
It's the type of baby where you go to the mom and just be like, what the hell happened here?
It's the type of baby that... This is a new bit that they've been workshopping, by the way. It's the type of baby where it's like, did she like clench her thighs as she was giving birth?
Just like silly puttied that shit out?
Yeah, like it didn't exactly...
Fucking Play-Doh spaghetti?
Yeah, Anyway, moving on.
So
Yeah, let's continue.
this film begins with some opening shots of the small college town of Crescent Cove, which, side note, every business in this place is already clown themed. Like, the burger place is clown themed, the ice cream truck is clown themed. How fitting.
I also love the fact that, like, all of the products and places, the names of them almost exclusively are just the title of what it is. Like, early on in the movie, like within the first 2-3 minutes.
It was in the first about 3 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, this guy almost gets hit by a car, and he's just carrying these cases of beer that just say beer on it. There was one time one of the clowns standing in front of a convenience store pretending to be a mannequin for whatever reason, because that's scary, I guess. The name of the convenience store is just convenience store.
That guy, he bought his beer from the fucking Mythbusters.
Yeah. But they can somehow have Coca-Cola's logo throughout the movie, because you can see Coke's logo all throughout the movie.
Oh god, is this like a Leonard Part 6 thing? Like where it was made by Coke?
Oh,
I don't know.
maybe.
Yeah, I just thought it was weird that like everything in the movie is labeled exactly what it is, but then for some reason throughout the movie you just keep seeing Coca-Cola, like the real logo all throughout the entire movie. It's just like, how did they get this?
Yeah.
I mean, the Coca-Cola company, they knew that this was the movie to associate their brand with.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Also, another weird thing about this movie, like it starts with this movie's main theme, like a rock song by, what was it, the Dickies? Yeah, that's a dumb name. I don't know anything about the band, but this not half bad rock song, why is this the main theme for this movie? This doesn't fit. It's better than anything else in the movie, but that's not saying much.
It's like that traditional like circus music theme, but like a 80s rock version of it. And while it is good, I am a fan of it. It clearly does not fit into the context of a horror movie. But in this weird, bizarre, trippy, cult classic bullshit movie that this is, I don't know, I like it. I think it works.
Yeah, so the plot, and I say that in finger quotes, the plot of this movie, it starts out at Makeout Point. I actually think they call it like the top of the world, but it's Makeout Point. It's your stereotypical horror movie. Yeah. All the college students are out there making out with their girlfriends, and these fucking douchebag twins in an ice cream truck pull up, playing this creepy music, like going over the
speaker, yeah.
Yes, that's the word, speaker. Going over the speaker like, hey kids, let's buy some ice cream.
And who are they calling kids? It's like they're the same age as them.
But the actors definitely don't look like they're teenagers.
No.
Yeah, that's another problem in this movie. Yeah. They're all supposed to be teenagers, and they all look like fully grown adults.
Yeah. I think I realized like halfway through, they're supposed to be college students. But even then, they're all like 30.
Yeah. You know what's funny to me in this scene? Because it cuts to some of the main leads of this movie, a man and a woman. The woman's name is Debbie, and the guy's name is what? Mike Tobacco?
Yes, his name is Mike Tobacco.
What the fuck kind of name is that bullshit?
Yeah, can't wait for the sequel. Oh no, there's only one man who can stop the clowns, Jim Cocaine, and his partner, Bobby Heroin.
But what's funny to me about this scene is they're making out in the back of his truck, but they're also in like a deflated river raft. Like, where the fuck did that come from?
No, it was inflated.
Oh, it was. Oh, I'm sorry. That makes it so much. That makes so much more sense. It's just an inflated raft in the back of their car.
I just want to point out that it was inflated. Okay, because it did have air in it.
And then there was another group of kids who were making out in the back of their car, and they were drinking wine that was very uncarbonated.
Yes. Now it looked like a champagne bottle, and that was my first thought. They pour it into like
glass.
What also be like champagne glasses.
Drink.
Yeah, in glasses,
Yeah, that's what 18-year-olds drink at Makeout Point.
I drank bottled beers all the time in high school, not cans. Anyway, it's the champagne glasses too, you know, like the really shallow ones with like the long shaft. And it looked like a champagne bottle. But the guy poured it out in the movie and it had no carbonation, no bubbles whatsoever. It was the clearest, it was water.
Yeah.
It was just
like tinted water. It was like yellow tinted water.
Well, you know, it's only champagne if it's from the Champagne region of France. Otherwise, it magically turns into water. And anyway, Mike Tobacco Tobacco. Why is he named that? I can't get over that. Mike Tobacco and his girlfriend Debbie Stone, they're there, they're making out, and suddenly they see a shooting star, and it like crashes down on the hill next to him. And Debbie's like, ooh, let's check it out. And Mike's like, what? No, that's like 1,000 miles away, because Mike doesn't understand distances.
No, I think he needs glasses, or at least to understand depth perception, or at least understand distance. I don't know. He's like, that's 1,000 miles away. And Debbie's like, what the fuck are you talking
That's
about?
like-
It's over the hill.
That's like...
Fucking idiot.
That line was actually improv. That wasn't Debbie the character. That was just the actress being like, what the fuck did you just say? She literally goes, no, it's right over, like, it's on the other side of the woods. And he goes, nah, it's at least 1,000 miles away.
I mean, in fairness, you can't blame the guy for wanting to stay back in that comfy raft where he can make out with his girlfriend and drink deflated champagne.
So anyway, the person who does arrive at the crashed meteor first, it isn't these college students, teenagers, whatever they're supposed to be. It's this old farmer, man! He's wearing overalls and a red shirt, and this was after Mario was a thing, so I can make an "it's me" joke. And he goes with his dog, and he's...
This adorable bloodhound. Oh
Yeah.
my god, that dog was cute.
And this old man just acts utterly ridiculous, like a cartoon character, like, "Won't be fried and hang up to dry in the fucking flour. Oh boy, this is a circus here, a fucking circus tent out here in the woods."
It's like the most stereotypical lonely old redneck type of country guy in the middle of the woods, just like alone.
Oh, and something I realized a second ago as I was like going through the cast list, that character's name in the credits is Gene Green. Gene Green and Mike Tobacco. Best character names ever. Oh my
Hell
god.
yeah. Screenwriting. It's almost like Anastasia Steele, which is the real name of the main character of 50 Shades of Grey. Anastasia Steele. Porn star names.
I mean, she's from a porn.
Yeah, very true.
Softcore. Okay? Or at least that's what all the old ladies say.
He didn't show his wiener.
Yeah.
His peen.
I actually do have a quick story. It was when 50 Shades of Grey was like marketing before it came out.
Yeah.
Like all the trailers came out, and of course that movie exploded because it's like, hey, there's a porn coming to actual theaters. And I forgot what movie, but I was with my mom and my sister, and I forgot what movie we were going to see. But we were walking into the theater, and these three old grandmas walked past us, and they were talking about 50 Shades of Grey, and all we heard walking back was they were like giggling like high school girls, and then one of the ladies go, "It's called 50 Shades of Grey," and then the other girl was like, "I gotta buy that book." And I just looked back, I was like, these women were at least like late 70s, maybe early 80s. It was just, wow.
God damn. Bro.
Anyway.
Anyway.
I'm not against like sex positivity and people like seeing a softcore movie in theaters. Just, I wish it was a well-written one.
Based on a well-written book.
It started out as fucking Twilight fanfiction and is somehow worse than
That
Twilight.
she wrote on her BlackBerry.
I didn't know that part, but of
Yeah.
fucking course.
Anyway, but getting back to the plot of this movie we're reviewing, the meteorite crash lands in the middle of the woods. Gene Green takes his bloodhound to the middle of the woods, to the crash site to dig up the meteorite, and what he finds is a giant circus tent, complete with lights and cameras and action, and he walks up to the tent and he starts freaking out, trying to find out where the ticket booth is, because he really wants to go to this circus in the middle of the woods with no cars or visible doors anywhere.
In the middle of the night.
In the middle of the night with his dog. And then out of nowhere, you see the shadow, the silhouette of one of the killer clowns.
Spelled with a K, by the way.
Yes. On the other side of the wall, the other side of the tent, then a hole appears in the side of the tent, and then the clown just pulls out a giant net and kidnaps the dog, takes it back inside. That dog is never seen again, ladies and gents.
Yeah, and Farmer Green, oh, he does not react well. Like, oh, where's my dog? Where's my Pooh Bear? I'll tear this thing apart with my bare hands. And then the clowns kill him.
Yeah. They kidnap him, and then it immediately and abruptly cuts to the police station, and that was something you kept bringing up, Raylan, was how bad the editing is in this movie.
Like the cuts were so jarring. That was the first major cut that, like, while we were watching the movie, I like looked to you and Casey, Riley and Casey, and I was like, what? Did you guys notice that? Because like the clown shot him, he was screaming, and it was like the effects that they used for the movie. And like in the middle of all of that, it just cut away to a completely silent establishing shot of the police station. What kind of cut was that? It's just a very jarring cut. And that happens multiple times throughout the movie.
Yeah. So we open in the police station with these drunk kids being arrested by Officer Mooney, who's just the worst kind of asshole.
God.
Just a dick.
Yeah, he's played by John Vernon, who was in Animal House and Dirty Harry, movies that I have not seen. I'm just looking at fucking
Dirty Harry
Wikipedia.
as in like Clint Eastwood?
Yeah,
really?
played the mayor in it.
Oh.
And was the dean in Animal House.
You know, actually, I did start watching Dirty Harry a couple days ago. Didn't finish it, but I will.
But anyway, this fucking old grumpy police deputy, man, he just hates these college students. They're scum on earth. They're ruining this town with their public intoxication. My God, it just makes him so mad that he goes Punisher. He starts beating the shit out of these guys in handcuffs.
What did they say? They said, we're not drunk. We just like sipping wine in the park.
And to
or
be
something
fair,
like
they
that.
didn't even look that drunk.
No, they weren't. It was so stupid. Like, okay, A, what teenagers sipped wine in the middle of the night at
What
a park?
teenagers drink wine in general? I've never met a single teenager. And when I was a teenager, I didn't know a single person that drank wine. Everyone is beer. Well, at least back then it was beer, but now it's all about hard seltzers. But no teenagers drink wine. I'm sorry. That just bothers me so much.
I know. They're like, we were sipping wine. One of them has a giant spiked mohawk.
It's another problem I had with this movie. I mean, a lot of movies in the 80s kind of do it too. It's like when they have characters like that, they're just dressed as like the most stereotypical, what do you think they would look like, even though it's completely inaccurate. So it's like they're being arrested and it's like, oh, well, they're supposed to be punks.
Yeah.
So they give them like a big mohawk. They're wearing like chains. They're wearing all black, and they're acting like they're high. Like, oh, come on, man. It's like, come on, that's what?
They remind me of fucking Bulk and Skull from Power Rangers.
And that was like in the 90s.
So anyway, Mike Tobacco and his girlfriend Debbie, they go through the woods. They very quickly travel 1,000 miles and arrive at the circus tent.
It's a big fucking hill.
Side note, Mike in the early scenes of this movie, is he like fucking high? He's so weird. Like he jumps up on the hood of the car and like talks like Yoda, like, ooh, a circus we are going to. And then when he goes in, he pretends to be like a ringmaster selling tickets. Like Mike's weird. But anyway, they go to the tent and they go inside, and this isn't a tent. It's a spaceship. We know because we walked into a room with the Death Star gorge matte painting type thing.
Yeah. They walk through, there's an elevator, which, side note, the cuts of them going in and out of the elevators piss me off. I don't know about you guys. There was no like pause in the sound effect of it going up. It was just like between those, it would just cut to a different shot. It pissed me off so much. It was so insignificant, and I'm upset that it pissed me off. I'm not proud of it, but it pissed me off.
No, I agree. The way they show that there was movement in the elevator, it would be just like a straight on shot of the elevator. They go in, it goes and then when they like leave the elevator, the camera would just like move to the left and they would just come out the same elevator. It's like, well, that's how you know they moved. It's like,
but yeah, they found the power core to the entire ship, and it's just a really shitty matte painting.
Also, popcorn.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah,
my
yeah.
God.
Oh god, yeah.
That pissed me off.
So yeah, but they find their way to the storage chamber where all the clowns are keeping their victims, which are the people that they shot with their ray guns and turned into cotton candy cocoons. We learn later on they are taking these silly straws and slurping the cotton candy people.
Yeah.
They're feeding on
And
people.
admittedly, that is kind of creepy. Like, you peel away the cotton candy to see a bloody corpse and then stab in and drink. That's genuinely creepy.
It is.
Hope they don't ruin this vibe.
Oh, no.
Let's see the computer they use to steer the ship. Let's just go over to that.
Raylan, what is the computer made out of?
It's literally just a bunch of sticks with balls on them. Like
Arcade joysticks?
Yeah, like an arcade joystick, but like jumbo size. There's a billion of them all lined up, not labeled. I don't know why that bothers me, but they're not labeled. They're all just like the same 3-4 colors, and they're just, the colors aren't lined up, so you know they're different.
Yeah.
And in front of that is a popcorn machine. a popcorn machine.
That's their
And
central computer.
And it's popping new popcorn. Because when the clown is like messing with the joystick thing, you see the popcorn popping. It's like, there's new popcorn. I literally wrote down popcorn engine with 3 question marks in my notes.
Yeah, and okay, maybe that isn't the way it's like built. It looks like it's a control thing. Maybe that is actually what the popcorn is later on in the movie. But if it's not, then that's weird because they use popcorn for something else. A scene later, popcorn is clown babies.
Yeah.
Yes, this is a movie about killer clowns. But like, not everything the clowns do have to be clown themed. Yeah, they could just be creepy clowns. Their spaceship is a tent. That's fine. Like, they're turning people into cotton candy and sucking the blood out of them.
It's cheesy, but really fucked up and freaky.
That's still scary. But then when you get to like their major computer and it's a popcorn machine, like, no, that just takes it out of it. Not every single little aspect in their spaceship needs to be circus themed. Like, it just doesn't.
But the aesthetic.
The clown, no.
You can be too campy.
Yeah.
And here's the real question. So, are they aliens who disguise themselves as clowns to infiltrate? Are they aliens that just happen to be like clowns? Or are they aliens that inspired clowns?
That's very interesting because you could be like, did humans in this universe, because obviously they know it's clowns and circuses exist in this universe because the humans.
Yeah, it's not like The Walking Dead where it's a universe where zombie movies don't exist.
Yeah.
Although I would like a movie that takes place in a universe where clowns don't exist. It doesn't have to have clowns as the bad guys, just like, what the fuck is a clown?
Yeah. I think what would help this movie a lot is if clowns and circuses somewhat didn't exist in their universe. And it's kind of like the first time they're seeing clowns, and it's in this horrifying fashion, which I feel like would help the movie and actually be scarier because everyone has this, for some reason, an irrational fear of clowns is like the most common fear.
Yeah.
Now we're seeing these characters who have never seen clowns before, and this is how they're seeing them.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that's how we perceive clowns, even though a lot of typical clowns don't look like that.
Right.
But they're still creepy.
What if, and this is my pitch for a potential sequel, what if these aliens have been on Earth before, hundreds of years ago, and that's when people saw them first, and that is what inspired clowns?
But why did they make it a happy thing if the clowns look like that? Unless the clowns didn't look like that the first time they came to Earth.
Maybe over the centuries, it just got warped.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
We just made a better movie.
We're putting too much thought into the lore of killer clowns
true.
from outer space.
Very
too.
true.
So anyway, one of the clowns sees our protagonists, and obviously the protagonists get away because they have plot armor, unlike every other person in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, that's the best thing in horror movies. Like, these clowns are so good at killing people, except these two random. But anyway, they're running away, and a clown shoots them with a rocket launcher that hits them with popcorn that sticks to their clothes, and then pulls out a balloon animal dog that chases them. That was admittedly kind of fun.
God.
Yeah, that was funny.
By the way, so I'm keeping this as a theme for myself. Every time I'm a special guest on this podcast. Thank you very much, by the way.
You're welcome.
Which in the last Airbender review, I wrote in my notes, what was it? Koi fish. Fuck you.
Yeah.
I just wrote like koi fish, fuck you in parentheses because in like the show, oh god, what's his name? General Zhao?
Yeah,
Right?
Zhao.
Like shoots a fireball in the water and kills the fish. But in the movie, he kind of just like, does he stab it or just punch it?
We're the gods now, and he stabs
Yeah,
it.
yeah. And in my notes, I just wrote down koi fish, fuck you. And
Is this
for
your
this
fuck
movie,
you?
Yeah, for this movie, I actually had 2 just fuck yous, and one of them was the balloon dog fuck you. Now another one, which I wrote before it, so I must have seen it before the balloon dog, which I wrote down Clowns Are Us, but I legitimately do not remember what that's supposed to be. I don't know if that was a comment that one of the characters made or that was a joke that I came up with.
Yeah.
But I, for some reason...
No, they say that. When do they... Is it...
Is that when they're walking, like, in the halls?
Right,
Yes,
right. This movie, it tries to be funny. Whoa, what's this place? Clown R Us, says Mike Tobacco, who sadly doesn't die.
Yeah, so I wrote down Clowns RS, fuck you, and then now that we're at the balloon dog, I wrote down balloon dog, fuck you. And this will be a recurring theme for me as Ralen on this podcast. There will always be something where I'm just going to be like, just fuck you. No, stop.
Except when we review Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park's 10 out of 10 changed my mind. I'm kidding. No, there will be at least one fuck you.
So anyway, our protagonists, they go to the local police station where Debbie's ex-boyfriend, who is a cop, Okay, where Debbie's ex-boyfriend is, and they explain their clown stuff. And this is a thing. It's such a common trope. It fucking pisses me off. Why do they always start with the crazy stuff? Like, oh no, there was clowns and cotton candy and the spaceship. Like, no. You know what you say in that situation to not sound crazy? We were going through the woods. We found this tent. There were guys dressed like clowns, and there were bodies. Like, say it's a fucking cult, not aliens. Say there's a cult killing people in the woods.
You could just be like, hey, we ran into some psychos that we witnessed murders.
All they had to do was, hey, these guys are trying to kill us. By the way, they're dressed like clowns. But no, they went with, yeah, there's a spaceship and a balloon dog, fuck you, and popcorn computers and shit. And it's like, what?
And Mooney, our grumpy old cop's like, oh, you damn kids trying to prank old Mooney, I hate you. But the younger cop, the ex-boyfriend cop, his name is Dave. He's like, oh, I'll go check it out, but first we're dropping off Debbie because it's the 80s and misogyny.
There's a character named Jojo? Who's Jojo? Jojo the Clownzilla?
Apparently the Clownzilla from the end is named Jojo. Sono Chino Sadame.
Why did they call me the name?
Clownzilla.
I think they all had names. They dropped off Debbie, who still has a shit ton of popcorn stuck to her clothes, which I feel like that'd be a little sus. Oh, this popcorn is sticking to me. I could just go like that, but no, it's like sticking to me. Maybe I
a lot
should
of butter.
get rid of this.
Well known for being sticky.
I would like to talk about how this film is cut together because it kind of pisses me off.
Oh, it pisses me off too.
Debbie gets dropped off at her house and she goes to take a shower because horror movie. And she takes off her clothes.
Looks like Christmas came early this year.
Yeah, I don't know what that fucking reference
If you
is.
know that movie Jack Frost, you get that reference. I am so sorry.
So she takes off her clothes and she puts them in the hamper, and the hamper starts shaking. And then it cuts to another guy.
Yeah, the clowns are descending on the town.
It cuts to a clown putting some popcorn in the dumpster, and the guy goes to the dumpster to like throw something away. Then something grabs him and pulls him in. Okay, so now it's gonna cut back to the same thing happening to Debbie. Like half an hour before we see Debbie again.
Yeah.
At one point it
cuts
cuts back.
That was a long-ass shower she took.
Yeah, at one point it cuts back to showing her still in the shower and the hamper's still shaking. 30 more fucking minutes to go.
The entire shower sequence for her is legitimately like 32 minutes.
It's like a third of the movie.
Yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous.
She probably had to go film a different movie.
So it cuts to, I think probably my favorite scenes in the movie is the clowns attacking different people on the street. Like these two clowns are just destroying a convenience store. The tiny one gets his tricycle destroyed by a bunch of bikers, and then he hops off screen, hops back with boxing gloves, and then punches a guy's head off his fucking neck, and they're all like, oh shit!
Throughout the middle of this movie, it keeps cutting to the clowns just fucking killing people, and honestly, it's creepy, it's creative, it's campy, it's the best part of this movie.
Yeah.
It's honestly kind of filler, but it's a good relief from the plot, which is wonderfully acted and wonderfully written.
Right. There's another one where one of the clowns is doing a puppet show. They're puppets of themselves, the clowns, but then like they have a mini gun on one of them and he blasts with the other puppet and the other puppet disintegrates, which I would assume the clown's hand would disintegrate as well.
Don't logic this.
But it can grow back.
Very true. So basically they're going through the town, turning people into cocoons and kidnapping them.
I also want to say that at exactly 23 minutes and 4 seconds, Deputy Mooney says the title of the movie.
Oh, yes.
He says, so what are they, killer clowns from outer space? And we paused the movie so I can write that down. And I said, that's when the movie should have ended. At 23 minutes and 4 seconds.
Those scenes of the clowns just running amok through the city are arguably the best. You're right, they're absolutely filler, but they fit with what I enjoy about this movie, which is just the stupidity and the fun, campy nature of it.
Yeah. You mentioned Deputy Mooney a second ago. He's the best character in this movie, and that's half sarcastic. He's a cop, and he's tasked with, like, manning the phones while the other cop, the hot young cop, is off saving the day. And he keeps getting phone calls about clowns, and he's like, what? You said a clown stabbed you? Pfft. What? You said a clown stabbed you? Pfft. There might be a guy dressed like a clown going around stabbing. Nah, people are trying to prank Mooney. Entire town fucking dies because this guy's a moron.
At the end of the day, what is this one old guy gonna do against all that? But at the same time,
Call in the fucking state police!
He could at you're right. He could at least try to do something. But instead, no, he just lights up a stogie and is laughing as all the phones surrounding him just blast off.
Yeah, and because like all of them are clown calls, he just doesn't answer the phone anymore. Like even in that situation where there's an elaborate, super coordinated prank on him with the entire town in on it, what if someone had a fucking heart attack or got mugged? Does just 9011 not work anymore?
Because they get too many spam clown calls.
He just straight up stopped doing his job. He just stopped doing it.
Because of these damn kids sipping wine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then a fucking clown shows up and kills him.
One of the clowns shows up to the precinct. What does he do? He handcuffs him, but then its hands fall off. And then they grow back. He's like, oh, wise guy, huh? Come with me. And the clown just follows him to the cell because that's what you do to guys dressed in really creepy clown outfits that just walked into the police precinct.
Or like 9 feet tall.
Yeah, 9 feet tall. You just send them right to the cell with the 2 other drunk teenagers. Well, surprise, surprise, eventually the clown escapes, kills the 2 teenagers, and kills Mooney. Who'da thunk? And there's a bunch of clown footprints, red and blue, just all over the walls, ceiling, floors, shit.
I will say, it's probably the scariest part in this.
Yeah.
When Dave comes back to the police station, the clown is still there. And he's sitting there holding Mooney's corpse, like using it as a puppet. That was genuinely fucking scary.
It was the first, and I'm pretty sure only good scene in
Yeah.
this entire movie.
Yeah.
It is genuinely creepy.
And then Dave just shoots the clown in the face, in the like big
In the
nose,
nose.
and it pops, and then the clown spins around and turns green, and then explodes.
Yeah, so they found the clown's weakness after he used a corpse as a puppet. This movie is like campy horror.
Yeah.
That is fucked up.
Yeah, it's a creepy scene where like all the lights in the station are also gone, and Mooney has like some blood dripping down from his mouth.
Yeah,
And
to
the
make like a puppet mouth.
Yeah, and the clown is sitting there just unfazed, which also has the creepy face because the clown designs in this movie are actually really good.
Oh god, they're terrifying. It's
Yeah,
probably...
They're actually scary. So this scene was really good because it's the only real scary scene in the entire movie.
Yeah.
Also, it's like completely silent. Then he basically rips his hand out of Mooney's body, and his hand is covered in blood, and Mooney's body just slumps over.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, that was actually a good scene.
I forgot that scene was in this movie. I was like, what
I
the
also
fuck?
forgot that scene was in this movie.
Yeah. So, Debbie, she's been taking a shower for half an hour. I feel like there was... Oh, right, the popcorn! It turns into a snake clown. So is popcorn baby snake clowns? Whatever. It turns into a clown and it like tries to kill her, but she escapes. But then a clown shows up anyway, using Mike Tobacco's voice to convince her to open the door. And he kidnaps her. He doesn't wrap her up in cotton candy to like eat. He puts her in a balloon for some reason because she's special. She's the damsel in distress. She can't be harmed.
Plot convenience. Mike and Dave need wedding dates.
Well, there's some hot clowns in this movie. We'll get to that.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. Anyway, Mike
Get
and
the
Dave
fucking hose.
see the clowns kidnapping Debbie, and thus commences the chase sequence. Oh, and 2 things before we continue on with that. There's another chase sequence earlier on in the movie
Oh, that's
where
great.
a clown uses an invisible car.
Oh, but it has headlights.
It has headlights on its feet.
Yep.
And it's going and it knocks a car off the road. Where did the clown keep the fucking lights? Was it just in its pocket, up its ass? What?
Yeah, by the way, these clowns are fucking magic. There's a scene where a clown like makes shadow puppets
Yes.
that eat
That's it.
people.
Yeah, he makes a bunch of shadow puppets that do not fit the images he's making with his hands. Then it turns into a T-Rex, and it eats this group of people, and that's when Dave, the cop, sees, oh shit, this is real. That was the other thing I was going to bring up. Thank you for mentioning that. Anyway, Mike and Dave see the clowns kidnapping Debbie. Then commences the really bad chase sequence. I don't know, I thought it was funny.
At one point, they like meet up with and start riding in the ice cream truck with the Terenzi brothers, who are comic relief. They aren't funny, but they're comic relief.
Yeah, what happened to the women that they were with in the opening
I don't fucking know.
As far as we know, they also got killed by the clowns.
Well, I mean, this movie, it has a kind of happy, in air quotes, ending, because, oh, they saved the girl and no one died. The whole fucking town is dead.
Yeah.
You didn't even try to save anyone else.
No.
And their bodies weren't even, like, still there to recover. All the bodies got blown up.
Yeah, this is a fucking tragedy.
But yeah, they recruit the ice cream brothers, use the ice cream truck to get to the circus tent, and then it cuts to, was it at the tent?
It was like outside the tent, a security guard comes out, because like they for some reason moved their tent from the woods to a circus that was also in town. Why?
Now,
I
off
don't know.
screen this happened. And
But they go there, and a security guard stops them, so they chuck pies at him until he dies, which is actually kind of brutal.
yeah, he like disintegrates into a pie piece.
Yeah.
And then the small clown just like puts a giant cherry on him.
Also, I just thought this was really funny. When they start throwing the pies at the security guard, the first pie, because it's like the clowns are off screen, and then the pies come into frame from the left side of the frame, and then the security guard. Just want to say, when they started throwing pies, the very first pie that was thrown completely missed the security guard, flew right past him, and then the second one hit him. I just thought that was really funny.
Yeah. So are brave dudes in a love triangle that isn't really resolved, and also their two random friends. They go into this circus to rescue the damsel in distress, and the brothers immediately get separated. They fall through a trapdoor into a ball pit, and the other two don't even notice.
Yeah. Where's Milton? He was still with us?
Yeah.
Yes, the Suicide Squad's a good movie. Yeah. And then we get this scene. The Terenzis crawl the ball pit, and there's a pair of lady clowns. The only lady clowns in the movie. And they're hot lady clowns. No, they're fucking horrifying. Yeah. But one of them has big old boobies that she inflates like balloons. She's like that one chick from Ace Attorney, from the noodle case. And when the Terenzis show up again, they're covered in lipstick. They fucked the clowns. These men have alien STDs.
That's how the clowns survive.
Yeah.
Because they fornicated.
Yeah. Fucking intercourse, that kind of thing.
Intercourse.
Yeah. That female clown's boobs totally inflated at twice its size.
Literally.
It's like the Grinch.
Actually inflated. Did you ever see Dodgeball? Where Ben Stiller's character puts like the air tube in his junk and he pumps it up just to make his bulge look bigger?
Yes.
It was as stupid as that. Then again, that's a good movie. Anyway.
So Dave, the cop, and Mike Tobacco, they go into the room where all the people are like tied up, being held prisoner, and just walk past everyone till they find the girl.
Yep.
Dude, save people! Like, just go, what the fuck is wrong with you?
And she is the only person that like didn't get immediately killed.
There were other balloons they could have popped, but no, just the hot girl.
But they for some, because of plot, just like they decided just not to kill her. They were just like, oh, let's just put her in a balloon where she'll still survive. Because our heroes need to save them later.
Yeah.
Mike Tobacco needs to save the day.
Oh, we forgot the clown parade, where they have this giant vacuum cleaner that sucks up all the cocoons that they're throwing out windows and shit.
Yeah, that was a scene. Yeah, this entire town is fucking dead, and they did not attempt to save anyone.
No, they did not.
So anyway, the clowns see that they're in the ship after they pop Debbie's balloon, and they run, and they like go to like a door that has a bunch of doors behind it, and it's so dumb for two reasons. Because like Mike pulls open a door, and there's another door behind it. He's like, another door. Pulls it, another door. Another door. I think you might have accidentally written the same line 3 times, scriptwriter. And secondly, when they get through all these doors, Dave, our brilliant hero, our cop who is carrying a shotgun, pulls out his shotgun and uses it to jam the door. And then they get surrounded by clowns. They can't fight because they don't have the shotgun anymore. Dave also had a baton.
And a revolver.
Yeah, so he doesn't use the revolver because he's unarmed because the shotgun's gone. But he didn't even need to get rid of the shotgun because he had a fucking baton. This is a dumb movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully the last couple minutes will be smarter. Never mind, fucking Clownzilla shows up.
What was it? What was the name?
According to the credits, it's Jojo the Clownzilla, but Jojo is the name on the ice cream truck, so...
It's this weird meta type thing. I don't understand it. I don't understand it.
Clownzilla.
Yeah.
Part 9
Fuck
is
you.
fucking weird.
Like, all the clowns corner them on this tower of blocks or whatever, and then they all hear this noise. They run away and they're like, oh no, well, I wonder what's happening. And then the ice cream truck just busts through the wall. The brothers come out completely covered in kisses and lipstick because they be fucking that night. And then Clownzilla shows up.
And Clownzilla just picks up the fucking ice cream truck and throws it, and it explodes, okay?
Yeah.
Later on, they say something happens. We do not see anyone get out of that truck. We see it explode, and we see that explosion consume everything, even the back.
As far as we know, the two women from the opening scene, they're still in that truck.
Yeah. This is gone.
Well, at the very least, the Terenzi brothers are dead, right? Right, I hope so. But no, Dave's like, I'll hold him off because I remembered I actually have a pistol. And he fires at Clownzilla to distract it as Mike Tobacco and Girl run away. And Clownzilla picks up Dave, and Dave stabs it in its big nose with his police badge. And it explodes so big that it destroys the entire tent.
Also, Clownzilla had strings on his arms and legs when he first showed up.
Yeah.
And then when he started walking, the strings disappeared.
Yeah.
Just point that out.
I mean, I guess those were what lowered him down, but yeah, that's weird.
That's interesting. I bet that's part of the deeper lore somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Mike and Debbie are the only people from this town who got away. But what's this? Out of the explosion is a clown car? Oh no! Oh wait, no, it's just Dave and the Terenzis. They're alive because the Terenzis, as their car was moving through the air, crawled around into the freezer, which is bomb-proof, even though we saw the explosion consume the freezer, and that made them survive. And also Dave somehow got in this bomb-proof clown car that was somewhere in the 10 seconds between Clownzilla blowing up and we seeing the explosion. It's whatever. They don't die because the plot is dumb.
Well, everyone knows that when there's an explosion, you want to go to a box that is cold. You guys ever see Indiana Jones?
Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, my guy?
If you ever want to survive a nuke,
a lead-lined fridge.
Yeah, just go into a fridge and boom, you survive. If you want to survive an exploding ice cream truck, go in the freezer.
The coldness counteracts the fire.
If there's a fire and you go to a place that's cold, it is impossible for that cold to heat up. Impossible.
Yeah.
Thank you, movies.
Yeah, that's why The Thing and The Thing is so dangerous.
Yeah, I have not seen it yet.
That's a very good
I
movie.
Oh god, it's
I know,
one of my favorites.
I hate myself that I haven't
Yeah,
seen it
fuck
because
you, I hate
it's
you.
not on any streaming service.
True. When I watch that DVD in front of
Watch
that
that.
has what's his face in it?
Kurt Russell.
The
Keith
black guy,
David.
Keith David. I love that man so much.
Yeah.
He's got an amazing voice too. He also voices the Arbiter in the Halo games.
Yeah, he voices Spawn.
Yeah, dude does a lot of voice acting.
Yeah, he's the president in Rick and Morty. This movie would have been better if it had Keith David.
It absolutely would have been.
It would have been an awesome. Honestly, it would have been an awesome.
Yeah,
movie.
Keith David is fucking awesome. Also, he
feel-
does so much voice acting because he's got a voice.
He was
Great
in
voice.
Gargoyles.
Ooh, who do you play?
The main guy.
Ah,
The
yeah,
main
that makes
gargoyle.
sense. I never watched that show.
This movie would
I watched it
legitimately be
long
better
time.
if Keith David played every single character.
Yeah.
So anyway, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. General thoughts, everyone?
I would like to point out that at one point, Debbie runs to her ex-boyfriend to hug him. He's like, "Oh, you're alive!" Her actual boyfriend, Mike, is right in front of him.
Yeah, that actually happens a lot towards the end of the movie. Like when they first pop the balloon, she's grabbing onto her ex-boyfriend, and Mike is kind of just doing a weird hug hover.
Yeah.
And then when they're running, she's
The
holding
edibles
onto
are wearing off.
When they're running, she's holding on to the cop, her ex-boyfriend, and then at the end of the movie, she runs up to the ex-boyfriend because he's alive, and she hugs, and once again, Mike Tobacco is doing this weird hover hug thing. That actually happens multiple times through the final act of that movie.
I wonder if I can find any Mike X Dave fanfic.
Probably.
Do you think there's merch for this movie?
Oh yeah,
Probably.
they're Funko Pops.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, while you're looking that up, I found up the list of names for all the clowns in this movie. Anyway, here are the names. Jumbo, Fatso.
Fatso had a fupa.
I'll take your word on that. Shorty, Rudy, Spike, Slim, Bibbo, Chubby, Frank, Joe, McGorry, Storefront, Talls, Rosebud, fucking Citizen Kane reference up in this shit. Daisy, the baby killer clowns, the popcorn ones. Jojo the Clownzilla, that's actually its name. Slam, Mojo, Bippo, there's a Bibbo and a Bippo. That's not confusing. Kilbo, Bash, Danny, and Crinkles.
Who the fuck names the kid Danny?
Danny the clown.
Danny and Frank, the weirdos, the black sheep of the family.
Yeah.
So anyway, this movie was awful.
Yeah.
It's funny because going back to the start of this episode, I kind of like those ideas that we came up with.
Yeah.
Where it's like, in the universe of this movie, if clowns didn't exist and this is the first time they're seeing clowns, like, this is how terrifying clowns are. Or what Riley said, where maybe they came once before and they were just as scary, but over the centuries, they got dumbed down to, oh no, but they're always in colors and they do cotton candy and it's like, oh, they got popcorn. And it's like, oh, this is interesting.
Wait, guys, I've got it. So clowns are fucking scary. What if that's their whole thing? Like, we have a movie. It's about a clown that feeds on fear and, like, specifically goes after kids because kids are afraid of clowns. Like, maybe it hides in sewers and offers them red balloons.
Every 27 years.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, Ralen, you're the fucking guest. You get to give the first score, and it won't go in official records, but it'll make you feel good.
Cool. Before I give my score, can I give closing statements?
Yeah.
Cool.
No, fuck you.
All right. All in all, this movie's shit. It is bad. I don't like it. I don't enjoy watching it. But I think that it could work in a way. Because this movie only has 3 good things going for it. The Deputy Mooney death scene, that's good. The design of the clowns, like the masks, are actually scary and good. They're actually really well designed. Although my problem with it, still do have a problem with the masks, because the way they move, they're so stiff, and the blinking is so slow and stiff. It kind of reminds me of like Power Ranger villains. So it's like, it kind of took me out of it a little bit, but if you're just staring at just like, they're not moving, they're not blinking, they're not moving their eyes and stuff like that, it's actually a genuinely creepy mask. Then the third good thing about this movie is the idea that they are capturing humans, putting them in cotton candy, not the cotton candy specifically, but drinking their blood, like cocooning them and drinking their blood. I think this movie could work because of those 3 things. Everything else in the movie legit needs to be cut though for this needs to work. Because the cocoon scene and drinking their blood vaguely reminds me of Alien. Now, in the first Alien movie, which is a phenomenal horror movie,
Which we did review for the podcast.
Yes, you did.
Shout out.
Shout out. You guys should go listen to the review. Also, you should just watch the movie in general. It's a very good movie.
Yeah.
I believe this was a deleted scene, but when Sigourney Weaver's character finds one of the crew members and they're like cocooned-ish.
Yes, the director's cut.
Yes,
Yeah.
and they were asking to be killed, and then that's when she lights up that in Alien and what they did in this movie, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, kind of reminded me of that when they like open up the cotton candy and they see like the form, basically just flesh. They just see flesh. That kind of reminded me of it. So I think this movie could work if they keep the creepiness of the Deputy Mooney talking dead scene. If they cut out all the wacky stuff, like the popcorn children, I don't think that's creepy.
No.
Personally, the popcorn babies, you should cut that. The whole wacky colors and stuff like that, I get it because it's supposed to be a circus. If you want to keep the wacky colors, you got to mute the actual picture itself on the movie. Like, make it a dark movie. This is coming from me, like how it would scare me.
Or like an It, where it's just like a creepy vintage red and white.
Yes, and it has to be a rated R movie.
Yeah.
Because you got to make sure, yes, you can keep kind of the gimmicks. The cotton candy, you can keep that. I'd be okay with that. But you got to remove the popcorn. You got to do something different with the colors. You got to cut the Clownzilla, or at least rework it somehow.
Yeah.
But I think that the idea of an aliens type of horror movie where it's just like one or two characters running around in this quote-unquote spaceship or area that's unknown, that's basically the den of the monster that you're facing. I think that can work with this movie because clowns are scary, and especially when you have good clown design like this movie had, that could still work. But it has to be that dark. The Talking Dead Deputy Mooney, it has to be that disturbing too. Right. You need to keep that disturbing factor consistent throughout the movie for it to be like a good horror movie.
It's like the argument of the 90s It miniseries with Tim Curry and the newer ones. They're both adaptations of the exact same story, and they're both, for the most part, very faithful to it. It's just the first one from the 90s had bright colors and went more so in the clown gimmick, because if you think about it, balloons aren't scary, but like the original It and this movie, to an extent, try to pass them off as they are. Clowns are creepy if you do them right. Case in point, fucking It in It Chapter 2 from the last few years, that's fucking terrifying. That can be done, but just having Tim Curry wear this bright purple, yellow, cyan colored suit, throwing balloons at everyone, that's not scary. That's just silly and campy and cheesy. And from that perspective, for me, this movie is not scary at all. But for me, why I enjoy it so much is the fact that it does fully embrace that campiness and that cheesiness. Like, it's trying to be scary, but it's really not. It's just trying to be fun. And that's what this movie is. It's fun. It's shit, but it's fun. You know? And from that, it's an enjoyable watch. And this is like my fourth time seeing it for that reason.
Why?
Because this movie's a great time. It's not good, but it's a great time.
Look, it's occasionally creepy. The clowns have good designs that are sometimes not the best executed. It has some creative, campy murders. It's fine for what it is. I don't think this is a movie that could have ever been good. At least it delivers on being a campy, dumb movie.
Right. If they continue on with sequels, and if possibly they want to reboot it, like, this could be a great movie.
Killer Klowns is scary.
Yeah.
Especially if you make it very dark and disturbing, it will scare you.
This can be great.
Yeah.
This just isn't. But that said, I still have a fun time with it.
Yeah. But if it's scary, is it even Killer Klowns from Outer Space? Also, the sequel got canceled by Disney when they bought Fox.
Really?
Damn.
I did not know that. Huh.
Get fucked.
So, when I said earlier that the Sci-Fi Channel movie, that's not coming out anymore?
Apparently not.
Huh. Thanks, Disney.
I have my rating for the movie, though.
Okay.
I'm going to give the movie a 2 out of 10.
This movie's a fun time, but absolutely every angle of it is shit. The writing, the directing, the acting, it's all shit. Actually, I thought the cinematography was fairly decent.
Not bad.
Yeah, like you could see what's happening.
Yeah.
At all times.
Such a low bar, though.
Yeah, it really is. Point is, it's shot semi-competently. It's not like a Tommy Wiseau movie where it's just completely brain dead, you know?
Yeah.
But from that perspective, everything else, it is a Tommy Wiseau movie. That said, I have a great time with it. That said, it is a shit movie, so I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10.
Yeah, I'd give it a 5. It's not a good movie, but at least it has its charms occasionally.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the weird thing. Again, I bring this up every time we review a cult classic movie, but it's hard to balance the cult nature of it and why people enjoy it with the actual quality of the movie. Because movies like this, like I said, I have a fun time with.
But they're bad.
But they're bad. They are really bad. And so it's like, how do I objectively judge a movie where I like, but I recognize is garbage, you know?
Ralen, where can people find you? Do you do things? I don't know if you do things.
I kind of do things. Check out my YouTube, Ralen Stevens, which is RalenStevens. Instagram, Ralen_Stevens, same spelling. And I already have short films out on my channel, on my YouTube channel, that you can check out, that Riley is also featured in.
Yes.
He's featured in a few short films, and I am currently in production of my next short film, which I'm not going to give away the title just yet, but it's a gangster film, which Riley is also going to be in. So if you want to check that out, I don't have a release date yet, but it is currently in production right now.
Great.
So look out for that.
Yeah.
And thank you guys for having me on the show.
Yeah.
Now go back to your fucking cave, Ralen. Shoot. You know, actually, when we did The Last Airbender, that was how I met you, doing The Last Airbender, because you were a guy Riley knew that he invited. I know you now, so I can hate you and be mean to you.
Yep.
So shoot.
I'm gonna go hide until the next review.
Yeah. Be gone!
Yeah.
Be gone, thought. Anyway, you can find more about our show on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube at Silver Age Silver Screen, where we post updates to the show and bonus content on there. Again, that is at Silver Age Silver Screen on all social media all major social media platforms.
What do you mean, we don't have a MySpace page?
No.
What about Parler? Please tell me we have Parler. Are we getting the Nazis to watch our show?
Actually, we do have a Parler. No, we don't have a Parler. Anyway,
Fucking bullshit.
Yeah, you can find me, Riley Thorpe, on TikTok and Instagram at Riley James Thorpe, where I post a bunch of content there and some updates to the show as well. And you can find me on YouTube at Riley Thorpe, where you can check out all of my short films, some of which have been featured in festivals and won awards.
Well, you can find me on Twitter at JarmesCasey, JarmesCasey. That's where I just post updates to all my shit. I don't get into fights on Twitter. I do that on other sites, which I'm not giving the names of. If you want to check out a thing from me that is good, or at least that I think is good, I can't rate my own work, check out Double Elimination: The Machine. It's a sci-fi thriller superhero story. Go check it out. I'm not going to read off the full back of the book. You can Google stuff. Double Elimination: The Machine. It's good.
Yeah, check out his book. Check out Ralen's YouTube channel.
Yo.
Check out my TikTok account and YouTube channel. We all post a lot of great stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, you've mentioned.
I'm trying to plug
Oh,
you,
quality?
you selfish prick.
Well, I don't want to be plugged. I'm not a fucking outlet, Riley.
Quality content and quality collaborations.
Yes.
We'll be back next week. Well, Raylan won't. He's gone
I
now.
won't. I'm gonna go into my cotton candy cocoon until Jurassic Park.
Yeah. I might take a few sips. We'll be back next week, assuming we don't end up like Raylan. And we're going to be reviewing The Exorcist.
Ooh, yeah.
Anyway, as always, I'm Casey Jarms.
I'm Riley Thorpe.
And I'm special guest Ralen Stevens.
And hey, it's just a movie. Don't lose your head about it. Especially not to a tiny clown on a tricycle.